position, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface, sniffing cocaine, holding an M16. See with the pen, I'm extreme. Now, pulling holes, left in my peep holes. I'm shooting up with street clothes. Hand me a 9 and out the feet foes. Y'all know my stilo, with or without the airplay. I keep some E&J, sitting bent up in the stairway. Or either on the corner, betting grants with the CeeLo champs. Laughing at bass heads, trying to sell some broken amps. G-Packs get off quick forever, niggas talk shit. Reminiscing about the last time the task force flipped. Niggas be running through the block shooting. Time to start the revolution, catch a body head for Houston once they caught us off guard. The Mac 10 was in the grass and I ran like a cheetah with thoughts of an assassin. Pick the Mac up, two brothers back up. The Mac spit, man was hitting niggas, one ran. I made a backflip, heard a few chicks scream. My arm shook, couldn't look, gave another squeeze, heard it click. Though my shit is stuck, tried to cock it, it wouldn't shoot. Now I'm in danger. Finally pulled it back and saw 3 bullets caught up in the chamber. So now I'm jetting to the building lobby, and it was full of children, probably couldn't see it as high as I be. It's like the game ain't the same. Got younger niggas pulling the triggers, bringing fame to their name and claim some corners. Cruise without guns upon us. In broad daylight, stick up kids, they run up on us. 4-5s and gauges, max and facts. Same niggas that catch you back to back. Catching your cracks in black. There was a snitch on the block, getting niggas locked. So hold your stats to the coke price drop. I know this crackhead who says he gotta smoke nice rock. And if it's good, you bring your customers and measuring plots. But yo, you gotta slide on notification. Inside information keeps large. Niggas are racing and they while spacing. It drops deep as it does in my breath. I never sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. Beyond the walls of intelligence, life is defined. I think of crime when I'm in a New York state of mind. State of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. That I'm a gangster, drinking my wets, holding texts, making sure the cash came correct. Then I step investments and stock, sewing up the box to sell rocks. Winning gunfights with mega cops, but just a nigga walking with his finger on the trigger. Make enough figures until my pockets get bigger. I ain't the type of brother made for you to start testing. Give me a Smith and Wesson, I have niggas undressing, thinking of cash flow, food and shelter. Whenever frustrated, I'm a hijack Delta and the PJs, Brooklyn tape plays, bullets and strays, young bitches is praise. Each block is like a maze full of black rats trapped. Plus the album is back. From what I hear in all the stories, when my peoples come back black, I'm living where the nights is jet black. The fiends fight to get cracked. I just max. I dream I can sit back and laugh like Capone with drug strips on. For the legal luxury life, rings flooded with stones homes. I got so many rhymes, I don't think I'm too sane. Life is parallel to hell, but I must maintain and be prosperous. Though we live dangerous, cops can just arrest me, blaming us for hell like hostages. It's only right that I was born to use mics, and the stuff that I write is even tougher than dice. I'm taking rappers to a new plateau, through rap slow. My rhyming is a vitamin, hell without a capsule. The smooth criminal on beat breaks. Never put me in your box if the shit eats tape. The city never sleeps, full of villains and creeps. That's where I learned to do my hustle, had to start with free. I'm an addict for sneakers, 20s a Buddha and bitches with peepers. In the streets I can preach her, I'm about blacks I teach her. Inhale deep like the words in my breath. I never sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. I lay puzzle as I backtrack to earlier times. Nothing's equivalent to the New York state of mind. State of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind.
All right. What's up, gangsters? How's everybody doing tonight? Shout out to the E Nation in the building. Great regime in the building. Hoorah, Kylie Jane. The queen of the E Nation, Simply Neek. The lovely Vonda Harris, Dane Frankie. Shout out to Kenny Conjo. What's going on, black people? Peace, power, and unity. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Give me a 1 if y'all can hear me. I've been working on my sound check. So I want to make sure you guys can hear me before I get started. Somebody give me a one. I can hear me. Somebody type a one in the chat. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, I've been meaning to do this series, right? I'm still not going to go 100% yet, but I just want to get it started so that you know what you're in for. You know, I've been talking to some people in the back chat. You know, I have a real big problem with pimp culture, and I'm about to wage war on pimp culture. And one of the reasons why I hate pimp culture is because they destroy the mentality of our young black boys. They create in our black boys disrespect, discontent, and hatred for black women. And we have a lot of brothers out here now who push pimp culture as if it's something real cool. As if it's something really mighty in the black community that all our young men should aspire to be like. No good, womanizing, disrespectful, hateful black men. That's what they want our young boys to grow into. And a lot of us are complicit in this. We don't say anything about it. We sit back and we let it happen because we hear hustlers on YouTube and in the street that say, well, that's the game. Charge it to the game. And so we don't tend to pay any attention to it, right? But this destroys the mentality of our young boys. This is what creates the kind of men that you see on social media today. You've seen them, Manosphere, Sissy Bims, Hebrew Israelites, fake ass Moors, Comedics. See, this pimp culture, it's a infectious disease. See, once it gets into the mind of our young black boys, it spreads to the next one and the next one and the next one because they interact with each other. See, it starts out with conversations like, I got this honey, I got that honey, I got this honey, I got that honey, right? All cute at first, right? Until it starts to grow into a situation where it becomes mental, emotional, and physical abuse towards women. And you wonder where this comes from. When you got homos like Iceberg Slim who are being idolized. Many of these pimps are as effeminate as the women that they abuse. Well, maybe effeminate isn't a good word. Maybe I would say they are as feminine as the women they abuse. They even dress like them. They wear big curls in their hair, dress like women, address themselves as pretty men. And we got guys idolizing these women. We got dudes right now on social media teaching this garbage, trying to disguise themselves as relationship coaches. And we have black men who are engaging in this and perpetuating this all over social media. They make one stream after another, right? See, it's the cool thing to disrespect your woman. It's the cool thing to talk down to your woman. It's the cool thing to abuse your women. That makes you feel like a man. That's their version of what a man is today. A womanizing chump. And so our young boys, they get around these guys and they think these guys are cool. You know, they dress a certain way, very flamboyant and very, gay. They got the cars and they see other men, right, glorifying these guys. So they think that's what they should be like. And then it doesn't help when you have music that says, we don't love these hoes. See, after you've established that you're a black woman that's a hoe, then you start making music about her calling all kinds of bitches and hoes and talking about you don't love her. And now you got other little gay homos running around on social media calling them strags now. See, this is the pimp culture, glorified by MCs like Too Short, Snoop Dogg. And now we have a couple of generations of black men or young black boys running around here hating women, have absolutely no respect for women, thinking that they should womanize women as something as natural as breathing. There's no respect in these young men. Hell, there's hardly no masculinity in these young men. Period. Look at a lot of these pimps. A lot of these pimps are homos. One of the most revered pimps in history, Iceberg Slim, looks like a ratchet black woman. Or a white woman. Depending on what picture you look like, what picture of him you look at. One picture he looks like a ratchet black woman. Another picture like a ratchet white woman. But I'll tell you what I've never seen him look like. I've never seen him look like a masculine man. You don't have one picture looking masculine. All of his pictures look sweet and feminine. But this is somebody that's idolized by guys like Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, and guys like that. And even here on social media, some of the names here on social media idolize this dude. These are the guys that abuse women for money. They found a way to make money off of their hatred for women. And they get to abuse them, right? They get to make money off the hatred they have and abuse them too. And let me tell you, they get a kick out of abusing women. This is what our young boys are exposed to. And then when you have old fools on here who are teaching go along to get along, also having a hatred for black women, right, and idolizing these homos that they call pimps, they have the attention of our young black boys. I'm starting to see them younger and younger. The youngest I've seen so far is 17. Who has a very disrespectful and hateful mentality towards black girls and black women. Now, where did he get that from? He's 17 years old. Where do you think that's coming from? And we got guys here on YouTube, right, making one fucking video after another, glorifying this shit, talking bad about our women. And our young boys, they hear this. See, man, We don't do shit about anything. We just let whatever happens to us happen. We let whatever ride, right? Then when our children end up in the situations that they end up, they either dead early or they're out here walking around in skinny jeans and wearing man purses and whatnot, and they're supposed to be boys, and they have a bad attitude and they are just as feminine as a female. We don't tend to think anything's wrong with that. We don't challenge anything. We don't fight the things we're supposed to fight because everybody's afraid. See, we're afraid to stand up to these homos. We're afraid to stand up to pimp culture. We are afraid. Instead of telling these punks that we don't want to have any part of this, and we don't want any part of this around our children or in our communities, we rather go along to get along. We'd rather praise them and say that they're cool. You got these guys here on YouTube, ex-pimps, passing themselves off as relationship coaches, wearing makeup, wearing female apparel, giving advice to our younger generation. You have no idea the kind of destruction that they're causing. They are programming the minds of our young boys. You worrying about COVID, you worrying about what these race soldiers are doing? They are doing more psychological damage to our young boys than these race soldiers are doing. They got these boys growing up hating our women, right? And looking at men as an alternative. Now they have the mentality that they want to be with other men. They want to cuddle with other men. They want to be cozy with other men. They love other men. They love males. A woman is a piece of shit. She's a whore. She's a bitch. She's a strag. And she's all these other things. But a guy now, in the eyes of the average young male, right, has the same effect that he should have when he's looking at a female. So now instead of looking at a woman in that manner, he's looking at other men like that. So you got these niggas walking around batting their eyes and licking their lips to other niggas. Talking about penetrating each other. This has all come from pimp culture. You got groups of niggas online, right, are more interested in being with each other than being with women. And have grouped together, right, to turn against women and fight against women like women are some kind of black plague. You see, this right here is a blight on our society. Hordes of niggas with their noses up each other's asses, right? Wanting to feel on each other rather than feel on a woman. This shit comes from pimp culture. This is what pimp culture gets you. A bunch of homos who hate women. Niggas online crying and shit. Woman comes around and raises their voice. Niggas go duck under the bed. Oh, she's too aggressive. Weak. But this is what's happening. This is what's out here. And then you got niggas online teaching it and encouraging it. And these niggas look like mannequins. They wearing makeup. They competing with women for looks. I mean, check this out. You got some mentally screwed up nigga who can't tell the difference between him feeling like a man or a woman teaching our young boys this bullshit. Mixed up niggas, man. Walking around here saying words like manly and masculine, right? But dressed in female apparel. Switching. Walking down the street, switching. Throwing their motherfucking hips. This is what's teaching our young boys. And you wondering why you see that hatred for black women now. It's this pimp culture. It's not the only thing, but it's a large part of it, this goddamn pimp culture. The glorifying of these fucking pimps. So, I was watching, I saw a commercial the other day, right? And it was about a couple. It was two guys. And I don't know if they had a son or what. I don't know if that was their son or a little nephew or whatever, right? And they were hugging and everything, right? And the little boy had a look on his face like, I think he could have been no more than 8, maybe. But had a look and expression on his face that a grown adult would have. I mean, he looked at those two men hugging and stuff with great understanding, great approval. Like he was so happy for them. That really stood out to me. It wasn't the two homos, it was the expression on the face of the young boy that really stood out to me. Yeah, he sure did, Remy Norris. He sure did. I don't know if we have a race, but it's a lot of them. And so, the targeting of our young boys, something has to be done about it. We got to start doing something, black people. We can't just continue to let things happen and sit back and think that they're going to work themselves out. They're not going to work themselves out. They're not going to work themselves out until we go and do something about them. You can't just continue to sit back and watch our young boys get programmed by these demons. So, I just wanted to come on here a little bit and share how I feel about what I see out here. The glorifying of pimp culture, the glorifying of womanizing young men. It's acceptable. I mean, they make books about it now. They call these, they give these books colorful names like Mackin'. See, they disguise this filth behind dating. These are supposed to be dating books. But in these books, these young boys are learning how to hate women. They're learning how to womanize women. I'm sorry, they're learning how to be womanizers. They're learning how to accept this being the normal behavior towards women. And like I said, it don't help when you got grown men, even some older men, running around here bitching and complaining about black women. You got to understand something. This is a younger generation. So when they see the elders acting this way, they think it's okay. They think it's okay to be weak. They think it's okay to be cowardly. They think it's okay to be in love with other boys. And so you want to know why you have so much hatred towards the black women today? Well, with the pimp culture creating all of these monsters, we seem to have a large contingent of males, right, who just want to be with other males. They don't want to be with any. They don't want to be with any females. You got guys out here talking about they going their own way. I don't know where you're going without women, but they don't seem to give a damn about that. As long as there's men there, they're cool. And so now we get to a point to where we're trying to substitute for the black woman. That's why these guys are buying women's clothes, dressing like women, putting on makeup, talking like women, acting like women, walking like women, because they want to be a substitute for women. Now, I hope I don't ever see the day to where it is okay in this society to pick a gay man over a real woman. Because I believe that's where we're headed. And when you listen to these sissies talk all this crazy shit online, spewing all this hatred, you can't help but to think that. And remember, they have access to our young boys. They're passing this kind of hatred down to our young boys. And they're growing up into these until the people you see like the guys in the manosphere, these guys in these Hebrew Israelites. All of these dudes, like I said earlier, they're all sellouts. They all hate women and they love other men. Man ain't supposed to love another man. Man is supposed to love a woman. But this is what they want you to believe. This is what they want to create. And pimp culture is a big part of this. They want to devalue the life of the black woman. They want to dehumanize her. And when you look online, all you see is a barrage of hatred. Just about everywhere you see black men now gathering, they talking about their hatred for their black mothers and their hatred for their black daughters and their hatred for black women, period. And expressing love for each other. Yo, that's my nigga. I love that nigga, man. Niggas holding each other, hugging each other like babies and shit. Niggas hugging other niggas like he would hug a woman. I tell you, Remy Norris, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea at this point. You got to protect your children somehow. It's disgusting what's going on right now. I never thought I'd see anything like this. You know, coming from the old school, right? I never thought I'd see anything like this. But this makes me sick to my stomach. I can't even watch any of these streams anymore or listen to any of these niggas anymore, man. It makes me sick to my stomach to hear the shit that's being said and listening to the mentality and listening to what's being taught to our younger generation. These guys have completely sold out. And then they create these phony ass factions, Hebrew Israelites, Kemetics, and Moors, just so they can get with groups of other groups of men and hate women. I mean, these dudes honestly believe that one day they're going to be able to have a substitute for the black woman. That's why these homos are becoming more and more flamboyant. I remember I delivered to uh somewhere in Pennsylvania to a cold storage, right? I remember I was standing next to my truck and I was getting ready to go inside with my paperwork, and I saw what I thought was a woman walking, right, going up the stairs. I'm talking about everything, the curvy hips, the swinging back and forth, everything, until I got inside and saw that that was a dude. Blew my freaking mind. And that is what they want. That type of male right there is what they want to replace black women. Shout out to the real Aaron Collins. Dame. Dame, are you there?
Yes.
Do me a favor. Hold it down for about 15 minutes. I gotta check my reefer. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's surprising how much the pimp culture, the Mac culture, and now the new version of it, the player culture has spread um into the generation. To be a pimp was used to be a shameful thing. Now it's what they're thriving for. And pretty much they it's either making your money off of the back of women.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Everything's good. Let me ask you a question, Dane.
Hmm.
Do you think that they're going to try to substitute the gay male for the black woman? I mean, do you see that happening? Do you at least see them going in that, they're trying to go in that direction?
They could be, but it's not going to be entirely successful.
They think it is.
Yeah, they twist it.
Now, let me
Hmm.
ask you a question. Maybe I missed something. You ladies are up here. Vonda, can you come up to, can you open your mic real quick if you're listening? Let me ask you, ladies. So, everybody, welcome to the panel. Vonda Harris, the lovely Vonda Harris, and Lady Dame, also the host and co-host of one of our flagship shows, Ladies Night.
Good evening.
They, they're hanging out with the Black Knight tonight on Gangster Talk. And let me ask you, ladies, a question. Now it seems to be acceptable for a young male to be disrespectful as possible to a black girl, a black woman. And I've talked to some of these young men because I mentor young boys when I'm home on free time. And I asked one of them, "Why are you so disrespectful?" You know what he told me? He said, "Because women," he said, "women don't bring much to the table except for their vagina. I need more than that. And if they don't have anything more than that, then I can't respect them." This kid was 17 years old.
What
Respond
the
to that.
hell?
I find that to be very sad, and it just makes me wonder, did he have a father or an uncle or someone who taught him that? Or did he not have a male figure in his life? And
His father, excuse me, I'm going to cut you off. His father was a jailbird, and his uncle raised him, who was a pimp.
then it makes sense where he got that from.
Hmm.
Explain a lot.
I mean, help me out, ladies. I'm old school, okay? I'm a dinosaur, all right? I come from the late 60s. It wasn't acceptable to be so disrespectful, at least not where I come out of, okay? Today, this seems to be a normal thing with black men. I mean, normal. And if all black men aren't on board with it, they're either being called simps or they're being called weak. So if I want to be a gentleman the way I was taught, I'm a simp or I'm weak. So if I'm not running around here calling the black woman out of her name, like I don't have any sense, I'm a simp. Now I've even had some black women, right, defend what's going on, which still has me melancholy. Defend what's going on. Now I'm a little confused. Help me out here. Is it acceptable today, even a tiny bit, right, for you as a black woman, and Dame, you as a black woman, to be disrespected and called out of your name by whether it be young black boys or older, or mid to older age black men? Is it acceptable, even in the slightest?
I don't think it's acceptable for either of us to do it to each other at all. But you see a lot of that. Now you're talking about pimp culture, been around for a long time, and it's been glorified in the music, in television, movies, and we see it play out in real life. No, I don't think it's acceptable. I don't feel it's acceptable for me to be called out of my name just simply based on the fact that I'm a black woman. And there are some people who feel some type of way about black women.
Dang, what about you?
Okay. I
Okay.
don't
I
find it
don't find it
acceptable.
acceptable.
I do not
I do
consider it
not
my
consider it
name,
my name,
and
and
I don't
I
think it's
don't think
right.
it's right.
I,
No, I
I
disagree.
don't think.
I'm
I don't
sorry, I don't
think.
mean to cut you off. No, I disagree
Mhm.
with that with Remy Norris. Because when I was coming up, we couldn't just get away with anything like that. They may be doing that now, but the time I came up in, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We couldn't get away with nothing like that. Our mothers was too strong for that. They did it. No, 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 no. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dane.
Um.
Um.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel
I
that this
feel
is
that this is
happening now
happening now
because
because
we have
we
too
have
many
too many
unfathered boys,
unfathered boys,
and
and
they
they
idolize
idolize
what they
what
thought
they thought
was a man.
was a man.
To them,
Oh,
To
it
them,
looked like a
it
good
looked like a
thing.
good thing.
let
The
me
pimp had
The
all
pimp
these
had all
women.
these women.
right. Let me stop you right there. Let me jump in.
Hmm.
Also, Remy Norris, you're a millennial. Okay, that explains it. But you said something very interesting, right? You said that these boys don't have a father, right? A lot of these boys do have a father, people.
Hmm.
What's the problem is the fathers are screwed up. A lot of these guys you see online talking this craziness are fathers
Hmm.
who are raising boys. So a lot of these young boys do have fathers. But the father is the one that's leading them down this path, this path of destruction towards black women. Their fathers are glorifying this. A lot of their fathers are instilling this crap into their sons. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Um.
Well,
Well,
I'm not trying to
I'm
give
not
them
trying to give them
excuses,
excuses,
but
but
some of those
some of those
fathers
fathers
haven't been
haven't been
fathered,
fathered,
and
and
it's carrying
it's
over into the
carrying
next
over into the
generation.
next generation.
The
The
unfatheredness
unfatheredness
is going
is
down the
going down the
generation pipe,
generation pipe,
and each
and each
generation is
generation
bigger.
is bigger.
That's why I
That's why
said
I
there's a
said
third
there's a third
iteration.
iteration.
There's the pimp,
There's the pimp,
there's the
there's
Mac,
the Mac,
and now there's
and
the
now there's
player.
the player.
They appeal
They
to the
appeal
part
to
of
the part of
the boy that
the boy that
fantasizes having
fantasize
these
having
all these
all
women
these women
who cater to
who cater
them,
to them,
give them
give them
everything they
everything
want,
they want,
will work for
will work
them,
for them,
and their
and their
job
job
is working
is
them.
working them.
Okay, let me ask you ladies this, right?
Hmm.
Do you
Mhm.
think some black women are complicit in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I can't speak from the woman's perspective, so y'all lay it on me. Why do y'all think that is? You think where are some of the women who are complicit in this? Where are they getting that mentality from? Break that down for me, because I can't see from that side. I can only see from the male side. Tell me in your opinion, where y'all think that's coming from.
Well, I'm going to tell you
Well,
where
I'm
it's
going to tell
coming
you
from
where it's
me.
coming from me.
Not that I think it's
Not that I
okay
think
for
it's
women
okay
to be
for
called
women to be
bitches
called bitches
and whores,
and whores,
but I
but
really first
I
started
really first
hearing
started
it
hearing
in the
it
90s
in the 90s
with the
with
emergence
the
of
emergence of
gangster rap.
gangster rap.
And
And
during that
during
time,
that time,
it was just really
it was
popular.
really popular.
And so you hear that stuff in music, in popular music that's played every day on BET, MTV, all of these videos on the radio, and you hear it over and over and over, and you become desensitized to it. Not saying that you think it's okay, but when you hear it, it's not as offensive. I mean, there used to be a time where they put an explicit lyric title on a cassette tape or a CD. They don't do that anymore, do they?
Nah, I don't think they do that anymore. Um,
Because now it's
but
so acceptable. It's not a big deal. You know, I can remember MC Light. Now let's fast forward to Nicki Minaj. Vastly different artists. That's the progression of rap for women, you know, from the 80s up into the 2000s. You got Meg the Stallion now, but back when I was young and rap was starting out, it was MC Light, Roxanne Shante.
right.
They weren't rapping about, you know, giving fellatio and taking it up the behind and sleeping with every guy that they could come up.
You know, rap music, you know, was born in my era. You know, Cool DJ Herc and all them guys. You know, they used to have a message, right, about what was going on in the hood. You know, I think one of the most famous rap songs called "The Message," um, with Melly Mel in them, right? When NWA came on the scene with all that craziness, it was like everything just changed, like everything just flipped over. You know, you didn't hear that before NWA showed up, right? You didn't hear all of that. I mean, but you did hear guys talking about that you know they were good with the ladies, but it wasn't like, you know, they had 7, 8 different. It wasn't that bad. You know, it was just guys bragging about how good they were with the ladies, right? But when NWA showed up, oh man, it just changed everything. Now all of a sudden, women were bitches, they were hoes, they were skeezers, they were. I mean, it just blew everything out of the water, you know. And when you look at the situation on the man side, when you have guys like Too Short, who pretty much glorified pimp culture in just about every damn rap song he made, right? And you got these young boys looking up to guys who are writing these books with these colorful titles, like the like Mackin, the you know the art of Mackin and so forth, whatever, trying to hide this filth in relationship storytelling. But when you open a book, it tells you it's basically a 101 instruction manual on how to disrespect and hate women and womanize women, right? And so when you look at the female side, when some of the women defend this culture, right? And some of them feel the way you feel, right? They feel, well, we hear it so much, you know, what can we do about it? Or I don't think it's so offensive.
Well, Max, remember when you did that string, follow the leader, the woman follows the leader? Well,
Right.
Caramel Sweet, she made a statement. Rap culture plays a huge role, and it's male driven. Women are natural followers. We follow the men. When the head is moving in this function, the body will follow. And I must
Absolutely
say, I
agree.
agree with her.
Absolutely 100% agree.
Absolutely.
Well said, Carmel Sweet. Well said. Couldn't agree with you more. But here's another thing though. Do okay, when you look at the overall leadership of men, right? We supposed to lead the community and everybody in it and so forth, whatever. But when you look at women, do women have their own ranking system and hierarchy? And the reason why I ask that is because you got women like Amber Rose out here glorifying being a slut. Would that be the equivalent of guys glorifying pimps?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be.
So could that also be having an effect on some of these women that are defending this culture when they see women like Amber Rose glorifying slut culture and making it okay to be a slut? You know, I mean, I seen one of her walks or whatever. Man, it was crazy. It was absolutely insane. You had women from all walks of life out there proud to be raunchy and wild. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like that. I mean, so when you do see stuff like this, right? Like, I look at it this way. With the guys, I'm launching an all-out attack on pimp culture. This is just the beginning. I'm not even nowhere. I haven't even gotten started. This is just a preliminary to what's to come. I'm going to get a lot more meaner and downright and dirtier than this. So I'm going after the niggas on this side. When women have somebody like that in their own ranks going against you like that and aiding the enemy, because to me pimps are enemies to black women, and you
Hmm.
all know how I feel about black women. I've said it before and I will continue to say it. If you hate black women, you hate black people. So pimps disrespect and abuse black women. So as far as I'm concerned, they hate black women. So they are enemy to black people. So when you have a woman like Amber Rose who's aiding the other side, the enemy, which are the pimps, right? What do you women do about that? What do y'all say about that? Do y'all check her? What goes on that side of the fence?
Well, in my opinion, first off, one thing you have to realize is that Amber Rose has been put out in front as a black woman. She's not even a black woman, but she's
She's
heading
not.
a slut walk.
No.
She's heading a slut walk, and you have black women following her, and she's not even a black woman. Let her have her slut
Wow.
walk on her own.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Someone like a Cardi B, she's not even a black woman.
Oh yeah.
They're
Sticking on black issues.
the same cloth. But you have black women who follow them because they're put out there as black women because they sleep with a slew of black rappers
Hmm.
and they're popular. So then
Would
you
you
have
throw
black
Kim?
women who want to be like them. And that
Would you
muddies
throw
up the
Kim?
water even more.
Would you throw Kim
Hmm.
Kardashian in there too?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
She's seen as a black woman. She's not a black woman,
Woman.
but she's a popular, glorified, respected hoe.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. I think okay. So I think I'm understanding. So basically, what you're saying is, it's not that black women won't do anything. Black women have already identified these women as non-black women, so it's a non-issue.
Not
Is that what you're
necessarily.
saying?
No, what I'm saying is
Okay.
because these women have become so popular and they have been presented as black women by black men, you have black women following them, wanting to be like them and do the things that they're doing when they're not even black women. I
Hmm.
think black women should not follow them.
Uh-huh. Let me Remy Norris says any bad behavior from any woman is associated with black women. Somehow they are black.
What's going on,
I think.
everyone? How y'all doing?
Oh,
Oh,
Aaron, I'm sorry
Hey,
about that.
Aaron,
hey,
Let's welcome to
welcome.
the panel, Mr.
Yeah,
Aaron Collins. Damn,
yeah,
dog, where you
miss.
been, man?
Oh man, I've
We
been
ain't seen
around.
you.
Miss y'all.
Uh-huh.
Miss you,
Oh,
miss you, Vonda and Dane, and definitely miss you, Max.
Good to
what's
see
going
you.
on, man?
Oh man, I've been holding up. Wanted to come and ask some come to this conversation. And you were right
Yeah,
about
man.
something you said earlier. We would have definitely got our asses whooped if we disrespected women back when we was
Oh
growing
yeah,
up.
no doubt. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. We couldn't get away with that.
Hell
Oh,
no.
there's an echo. Okay, that's me again. Dame, take over for me. Let me deal with this echo. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. And I mean, we would have. Yeah. Trust me, I know. I'm a recipient of said ass whooping. So, and but and yeah, Vondo, you're right. I heard that Amber Rose is not black, and we already know Cardi B is not black, but yet these sisters are following these women around and promoting this culture. They call it thought culture today. And the interesting thing about it is that I don't see the Me Too movement doing or saying anything at all about 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 this when they promote this culture. So that's pretty much. Yeah, I want to say that, and I was wondering why does it seem to be a double standard? It's definitely not right when these men call women disrespectful names like that either. But when the women call themselves that, why isn't there anything said?
Because it's so male dominated and men are perpetuating it, the women want to be a part of it. So it becomes this whole big old um nasty part of culture. I mean, you like I said, you have these women that are presented out there, these whores, these self-proclaimed whores. They've been in videos, they, X-rated videos doing, all sorts of things. And you have black men, putting them on pedestals saying, hey, this is the ultimate woman. This is how you're supposed to be. Then you have black women that say, hey, I want some of that admiration. I want to be just like her, and you
mm-hmm,
have
mm-hmm,
black men and black women following these non-black whores. And
mm-hmm.
it brings down our race. It brings down our generation, of children coming up.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
to
you're right.
stop following them. Black men and
Mm-hmm.
black women need to stop following these non-black whores. If they want to be whores, let them be whores on their own. Why does that have to be the culture to aspire to?
Right. I agree. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And and then they think that like I see some wearing these shirts saying I'm a boss bitch or whatever. I'm like, okay, so which one are you? Are you a boss or are you a bitch? I mean, you can't be both of them, but they'll try to fix it up and butter it up. I'm like, no. If it's a bad word, if males say it, then it's a bad word when women call themselves that too. It is still the same word. It's basically the same as the N word. Whether you put an ER on it or an A at the end, it's still the same hurtful word.
Mm. But it still goes down to kind of if you get to it's sensitized to it and it becomes part normal. Um, and she probably could also be making a statement when you are a bossy woman. Sometimes you refer to as that word. So she's kind of on it. Well, yeah, I'm the boss, and I'm gonna be that too. But it's not good. But we that's how desensitized we come to that word. We just like the N word. Sometimes we claim it, sometimes we don't. Some women do, some women don't.
Okay, so Remy Norris says it's crazy how black men are supposedly the leaders. However, they have led us to dysfunction and then turn around and blame us for doing exactly what they asked us to do. Follow them. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, they glorify the whores. First off, the non-black whores, they glorify these women and say, hey, this is the ultimate, boss bitch. This is how you should be, and then, that's what all the black women aspire to, or not all, but, majority go after that. And then when it's all hell in a handbasket, then it's like, oh, look at what you women have done. How dare you?
Yeah,
A whore
Mhm.
cannot be a whore unless she has men that she's whoring with.
true. Yeah,
She
you're right
can't,
about that.
she can't be a whore by herself.
Yep. I mean, I've listened to so many of these manosphere type of cats just talking, and I'm thinking to myself, do you even know what you're saying? I mean, it's amazing how. That's why I say the black sector is in such disarray. I really don't like using that terminology, but just for the sake of the audience, I'm gonna say black sector. This our little part of YouTube is just a hot mess, and you got a whole bunch of people, and I've said this many times before, who they probably never had a voice before, so now they got a platform. They can put an avatar up, and now they can be as big and bad and tough as they want to be. But I guarantee you, a lot of these same manosphere type guys that talk all that stuff on YouTube, I promise you, they would not say that to your face if they were sitting right next to you.
Oh, true. Very true.
And I'm
Oh
saying that,
yes, most
and
definitely.
and I'm saying that,
And
and I've been on the receiving end of being called a simp. Right now, I've showed my face, and I'm sitting behind an avatar. Matter of fact, you can look at my avatar right now, and that is how I look. So,
mhm.
I mean, whoever's listening to this broadcast right now, my name is Aaron Collins. I'm the real one. I said what I said. I love black women. And whoever got a problem with it, I'm not a hard man to find.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why is that such a bad thing? I mean, I don't understand it. To say that you love your own women, what is the problem with loving your own women?
Well, if you saw what I said earlier in the chat, that a lot of these dudes have drank the Kool-Aid and think that being around non-black women, see, they're used to being called these black bitches and stuff like that, and they used to being coddled by these other races of women. Now I'm saying, hey, what you do, who you have a chemistry with, hey, you do what you do. But when you go out of your way purposely to malign your own just to be with these other groups who have their own agenda, you're really messing yourself up. And they think that they're winning. They think that they're getting some kind of status symbol when they do that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all it is to them. It's a status symbol.
Yeah, but I think it's also they trying to fit in with the crowd. Some of it. Um, because there's nothing wrong with loving your women. Okay, so you want to go to that other sector, then go. Um, don't. But they don't want to go by them. They don't want to be the only one because then hey, they want to keep up there that it's the black women fault that I am going to the other women, instead of I just want to go with the other women and be done with it. They got to give excuse because they don't want to be uh I guess you could say ostracized from their community. Because sometimes some communities there's a little distance if you go with the other race of women. Okay, you go
Yeah,
over there. Don't bring her to mama's house, big mama house, or keep her at your place, stay on that end of town and stuff like that. And we'll be waiting for you when you get tired of playing with her and decide to come back. But in the
You know
meantime,
what,
keep her
Dame?
over there.
You know what,
Hmm.
Dame? The problem is they want someone to care when they go there. And say that's why they say it so loud. Well, I'm going so and so. Like you said, okay, bye. But what they want
Hmm.
is someone to care and to beg them not to go. I'm not gonna beg you not to go. If you want to be over there so bad, like you said, holla,
Hmm.
and don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. But it's on here where they screaming, hollering, complaining, uh, every excuse in the book, but yet they don't go. We don't see them with their pictures bragging. This is my my white chick, my Latina chick, my Chinese chick. See, I'm doing fine. Don't you wish you were with me? I don't see those pictures. Um, you know, or her at your place, you know, or I'm getting married to you know, here's my wedding photo of me and my significant other, whatever. So I think that even though they want to go to the other side, they not getting any they getting just as much attention over to the other side as they getting on this side. None.
You know what? Basically, what they want permission to go to the other side. They want your blessing. That's what they want. They're like, man, please go to the other side and have your blessing. That's all they want. They want you to
I've
care.
been, I've been gave them the blessing. I even offered to do the bon voyage party so they could get on the boat, the plane, whatever, to go over there and find their significant other and stuff like that. I got to the point where, yeah, go ahead, go find your whatever. Just go over there, just go already. You know how many bon voyage parties I've given? I've given three, and they still ain't gone yet.
Hmm.
Simply
Well,
put,
now they can't.
simply
What
put,
you
for the
what
men
you say?
who,
You still here?
simply put, for the men who want to tear down black women and they were birthed from a black woman, is there's a level of self-hate. And that goes the same for a black woman who tears down a black man, and she was seeded from the sperm of a black man.
Mhm.
You cannot, and I don't know where you think you're going to end up if you tear down your own. It doesn't make any sense for a black man to constantly tear down black women, and that's where you come from. You're hating yourself, just like a black woman who would tear down a black man and hate black men. You hate
Mhm.
yourself. You can't
Mhm.
change what you are. There is absolutely nothing you can do to change who you are. Your DNA makeup is what it is.
Exactly. And Vonda, I've listened to both of those both opposite ends of those spectrums too. The black woman haters and the black man haters. I listen to both of those spectrums, and it's pretty much they're really just basically different sides of the same coin. They're actually the same person, just different genders.
Yep. And it doesn't, cancel each other out. I mean, it cancels each other out, meaning, okay, I tear you down, you tear me down. Then at the end of me tearing you down and you tearing me down, there's nothing left. It is
Yep.
designed to destroy us. It is designed to destroy us, but they don't see that. You
Yep.
know, they don't see that.
Yep.
You know, and
Really, what they're doing is they're canceling each other out. So the people like us can have the repopulate the earth the way it's supposed to be populated. In a roundabout sort of way, they're doing us a favor. I hate to sound that way, but you know what I mean?
To me, it's a vicious circle, and it's a circle that I don't want to participate in. I don't want to participate in tearing down Black men. I don't want to participate in that.
Yep. And I
Nor
don't
do
want
I
to
want to
participate in tearing down
participate
black women.
in tearing down Black women. I don't want to participate in that. I'm
Right.
I'm about, uplifting each of us and making us stronger and coming together. I know that sounds all nice and corny, but that's really what we should be doing, not tearing each other down. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I love Black men,
Mm-hmm.
and I only particularly want to be around Black men who love Black women. I do not want to sit in a chat room full of Black men who hate Black women. That is not
Mm-hmm.
an ideal situation for me. I don't want to be around that. So I tend to stay out of those types of circles because it doesn't make any sense to sit up there and listen to a bunch of Black men, tear down Black women when I'm Black. I don't know how I don't think I fit into that equation if they're tearing down Black women. They have nothing nice to say about Black women. Why would I be there? Why would I support that? Nor would I want to support, a woman who all she did was tear down Black men. That's not
Mm-hmm.
conducive to us as a race either.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So so not only do we have the pimp, the Mac, the player uh group among the men, we got the slut. I'm sorry, there are also women. Oh, now I remember gold digger. A gold digger in the women, and some of it is just plain ignorance. I had to deal with last summer a 13-year-old who's a fan of Cardi B, and I was like, what the heck? Why is your mom letting you listen to that? But she's been listening to the radio version of it. And I said, why are you a fan of a woman that hates you? She hate black women. And she's like, no, no, no. She's like, no, she's not black. And she hate black, but she dates black men. Yes, but she still hate black women. She says some awful things about black women. I said, okay, when we get through over here, and you get home, look it up. So when the mom came and got, I went to talk to her. I said, why are you letting them listen to Cardi B? And she said, I let them listen to the radio version, and there's a lot worse. She said, YouTube, I can't control everything it can see. So I tried to center on the radio version of Cardi B. And I said, and then one of them, the one I was talking to popped out. She said, Mom, is it true? Does Cardi B really hate black women? And she looked at me and said, well, yeah, she said it. She don't like black women. They started looking up immediately, and they were like, and they found it. They found the things Cardi B said hateful about black women,
Yeah,
and it
you're
was
right,
like,
Miss Lucky. She called Black women roaches. I mean,
mm-hmm,
she doesn't hesitate to call a Black woman a roach.
I think I
mm-hmm,
remember that too. I think she called I think one black woman's baby died. I think she said the baby looked like a monkey or something.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and after that, be like, it was like, she was so hurt. She said, well, I liked her. I wanted to be like her. And she thinks of me this way. I said, oh, so you get it. It said, yeah, well, I'm a black girl. I'm going to grow up to be a black woman and stuff like yeah. She said, but how can I had to explain to her how a woman of another race could be interested in the men, but still hate and discriminate on the woman, on the black women, and explain to them about that,
A
I,
woman
I
does not have to like a Black woman to lay down with, 50 Black men. She she
Mhm.
doesn't
Mhm.
she doesn't have to like your mama, your sister, your auntie, your cousin. She doesn't have to like black women to lay down with a bunch of black men.
Ooh, Max, mute. You loud.
You guys still hear the echo?
Not the echo, but your engine or something.
It does echo if you're not muted.
Ooh,
Okay, what are you hearing now?
some kind of real loud almost
And an
like
echo.
yeah, the echo's still there. Ooh, sorry about that, Max. Sorry if I was screaming, y'all, but I got earbuds on and I'm trying. My mind is trying to speak over the noise I'm picking up. Yeah, I didn't get into all the fetish thing. I kind of left
Did
so
Max
much
leave
of
his
it
own
for her
chat?
mom. Hmm.
Did Max leave his own chat?
No, he's
Um,
still here.
he he's still there. He just he's trying to straighten out the problem with the mic. I think it's picking up all his truck noise. But anyway, yeah. So I might have altered this particular girl's direction because, as I said, she was becoming a fan of Cardi B. And even though her mom controlled some of what she said, eventually she wasn't going to be able to keep her daughter from seeing all of it. And then next thing you know, they're going to be emulating who they fans of, and they're going to be trying to dress like them, act like them, do what they say they doing because we seen it. We seen it with the guys. We seen it with the girls. The guys are trying to emulate the pimp, the Mac, the player. Um, and since the guys are admiring certain looks of girls or certain way they dress or not dress, so to say, yes, even the 13, the 12s, the 10-year-olds or girls are picking up on this. And from the guys, the men's, the older brothers, cousins, uncles, they picking up on that. They're not emulating it right now because they're still young enough and they still under their mother's jurisdiction, depending on the mother. Now there's some mothers that's a little lackadaisy and they let their child listen to anything, dress any old kind of way, you know, and then there's others that's stricter, you know.
Well, just like you were, talking to that mother, about, you let your child listen, to Cardi B. The child for the most part spends most of the time with the mother. Okay?
Mhm.
Um and as mothers do have a responsibility. If you have a mother who's out there, participating in the horror culture,
Mhm.
there's not very much she's going to be able to do to circumvent her children from getting involved in that. If she's, participating in horror culture and she has a son and her son is watching her participate in this horror culture, she's actively participating. That's a, a recipe for disaster. What do you think that young
Mhm.
boy is going to grow up to do and be if he sees his mother participating in the very culture which actually brings down black women and our whole race as a whole? So everyone has a responsibility in this.
Yeah, and we're not trying to bring this all to black women or the mothers because the pimp culture created the whole culture. We created the Mac culture. With we created slut culture, player culture, gold digger. You know, they all interwoven. Where the men goes, the women goes. If you notice, pimp, then the hoe. Um, Mac, then the slut. Player, gold digger. But but the problem with it is that the pimp culture seems to seem no, the pimp culture is having these men are um wearing women's hairstyle, they polishing their nails, they doing feminine like attributes, and until it's pointed out to me, I was like, okay, I think it's right. They low key gay. They low key uh um um trying to be women. And I remember I don't know which book it was, but it was some pimp book. Why? Where did I get it from? I have no clue. I don't remember. I would find books everywhere. I would read. I think it was one of my relatives, one of my cousins or something like that. Um, anyway, he was he was saying that he was man enough that he can do feminine things and still be a man. That's the little part I can remember out of that whole doggone book. I don't even remember the title, but it was some pimp person, and I guess the question was being asked to him, okay, why you perm your hair, wear your hair in styles like women, why you let your nails grow and you paint your nails and you wearing all these jewelries and rings. Back in the day, about the only time, well, the men I knew the most rings I've ever seen them wear is a wedding ring, or let me see, I think graduation ring. But men didn't wear too many rings at that time. You know, um, their jewelry about is about mainly a watch. But then all of a sudden there's necklaces, there's rings. Okay, men started wearing one earring and stuff like that. There was a little confusion of which ear was
The male
was the
side or the
straight
feminine side. Yeah.
side, yeah. And I was like,
I
the fact
gotta
is,
admit, I got both my ears pierced. I will admit that, but I don't wear a whole lot of jewelry though. I just did it basically because of fashion, you know.
yeah, fashion. That's the thing, that's the slow erosion when the fashion line started to blur. You know, there was before there was distinct lines of women and men's fashion, but now they're kind of blurring. Skinny jeans with are the holy jeans that's up in the thighs. That used to be women. Men got hole in the jeans. It was like around the knees, the bottom of the pants, maybe a back pocket, or where they have to put a patch or something. But now I've seen men with not only tight jeans, but tight jeans that's purposely what they call that when they made the holes in them, and they at the thigh level, they're up on the thigh level, and I'm like, why is he wearing those jeans? I'm fighting with uh 16, 17-year old now because they don't put tights on underneath them things. Those type of jeans. That's how high it is that you should be required to wear tights with those jeans because they showing so much leg. Why is a grown man wearing jeans like this
With his thighs out.
with his thighs out? I was like, oh my goodness, does he realize that's women jeans? Obviously not, because he's showing it off and everything. Saw the full picture, and I'm like, He really should be wearing tights underneath there. And why is he wearing women jeans? And how did he squeeze into them? Because they are skin tight. They're not just tight, they skin tight. If they weren't jean material, you swear they were painted on the person.
Well, it's getting to the point where, for every woman's outfit, there's a male version of it, you know.
Hmm.
Um, Skinny jeans, jeans with holes in them, all of that is it's just a little bit too much. I mean, where does the line, where do you draw the line? You know, it used to
I
be
wait.
certain colors were for women, but now you have men wearing, all sorts
That's
of colors.
another thing that's another thing you wouldn't have caught me doing, or no real men doing when we was growing up wearing those skinny ass jeans. I don't like the feeling of it. I feel like I'm losing my circulation. I mean, I like to wear my clothes as loose as I can possibly. I mean, I didn't wore shirts where people thought the shirt was swallowing me. It was so loose.
Well, nowadays, the men like to wear, nuggers. I call them nuggers, nut huggers.
Oh, okay. And then there's the opposite direction where the boys are wearing pants where you can see their underwear. I'm like, I've seen perfectly good pants. I know they will fit, but they purposely sink them underneath the butt. So you see full on underwear. It's pulled up high in the front, but the butt area is all exposed. And I'm getting tired of seeing men's underwear, boxers. I don't want to see no strange men's underwear. And I'm tired of saying pull it up because it doesn't do any good. I even seen one dude, he's walking around holding his pants up with one hand and he's trying to go about his business. And I'm thinking, it would be best if you wear a belt and tighten that up. And I'm thinking that this would eventually have died down, especially as that is known in prison culture as that you are available for sexual favors.
This reminds me of this documentary that came on. I think it wasn't ESPN. I forget what the name of that channel is. But have you heard this guy? He's a former inmate named Fleece Johnson. He was nicknamed the Booty Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He
So,
just seemed
so
proud of that. I
yeah,
was just
he
like, okay.
basically broke it down. He said that back in his day when he was really active in doing what he was doing, if he seen a dude walk around with his pants sagging, that he would have been available. He would have stepped to him and said this famous catchphrase, "I like you and I want you.
And I
We
want
can
you.
do this, and we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way."
Oh, Lord.
And,
Oh, I forgot
and
about that phrase.
yeah, the choice is yours. And he basically broke it down. He said that basically a man's butt to them in prison, and this is how he said it, that it was more important than eating food. It was more important than water, more important than breathing air. That's how it was.
oh.
And he got the name the Warrior because, well, hey, apparently he always won. So, but he let you know that, yeah, if you was if he wanted you, he could have you at any minute. Nobody was safe from his advances.
Uh, I know. Now I know when I was younger and this was first starting to happen and stuff like that, and I've told guys this, they didn't want to believe me. I said, "Well, talk to somebody that been in prison if you don't believe me. Read a book. A lot of these prisoners have written books, um, and they mention that, and And they tried to explain to me the difference between sagging and that full thing where they tighten the jeans but they pull the shirt down, or they make sure the shirt was long enough to cover that. I was like, why can't you just pull the pants up to where they're supposed to be?
Yeah, that's too
Um
much like right though.
uh-huh. Yeah. And I still see those of my generation a little younger. They ain't showing the underwear. They keep the shirt pulled down and stuff like that. The only time you see is when they forget and like pull their shirt up to say like one will pull the shirt up to wipe his face because it's hot outside, and I'll be like, dude, I don't need to see your underwear, you know. But
They forget that's the purpose of it being called underwear
and,
because it's supposed to be under your pants.
oh yeah, well these dudes they wear boxers, so sometimes it's hard to tell if they're wearing boxers or shorts. But it's still underneath their pants. I said, hey, he said I'm wearing shorts. I don't care if you're wearing shorts or underwear. I'm not supposed to be able to see it. Anything you have underneath them pants, I'm not supposed to be able to see it. It's like,
Yeah,
oh man, that's the style, and that's that phrase. It's the style. They keep saying it's the style and stuff like that. And I'm like, do you not know that you signaling that you're gay? Sorry.
you know what sagging spelled backwards is?
Second. Oh,
Sagging spelled
ah,
backwards is niggas.
what? Okay, okay, but yeah. So I was hoping that it would die down, but I'm seeing the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, uh, they still doing it. And I'm like, when is this fad gonna die down? The earring fad has kind of died down. The necklace fad has kind of died down. Okay, there might be one, but not full on. Um, there's masculine looking necklaces and not them the women's style necklaces that that they used to be wearing. Um, not they're not wearing all them rings anymore. In fact, if I do see a ring, it's that they married.
Okay.
Um,
Can someone answer this? Okay, real Aaron Collins. Now, have you guys noticed the plethora of entertainers and rappers with the freaking name baby in their name? The Baby, Little Baby, Wheezy
I
Baby.
noticed it. Yeah, I noticed it.
Or they call
mhm.
themselves young this,
Yep,
young that. Is
yep, I
I
noticed
mean,
that too.
And
and
don't
some of these fools is 30 and 40 years old calling themselves babies, and it's like,
Yeah,
are
you know,
what is
yeah,
that?
I noticed it. Basically, to me, it's basically like another version of what like like Frances Cress Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers, when she broke it down. Hold on, when she broke it down to how this system of white supremacy has caused the black man to refer to himself in the form of a baby, of a not yet developed human being, and that he's basically not grown up or doesn't want to grow up. That
Cruz
makes sense.
he says, my woman call me baby or bae. My mom still calls me Ray baby. There's a difference. You're not running around with calling yourself reality foundational Negro baby. You know, you're not running around calling yourself a damn baby. You know, when I talking to my man, I'm gonna call him baby. When I that's just it's a term of endearment. I like to call my man baby because he is my baby, and I'm his baby. But he not running around with a name badge on saying, you know, I'm baby. I'm baby.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
I agree with you on that,
there's
Vonda.
a difference.
And then calling another man baby. That's kind of, now that I think about it, because the one who started that would be Birdman, who called himself baby from Cash Money. But I think I would rather call him his other name, Birdman, at least. Because I ain't really trying to call another man baby. That just that don't fly too well with me.
Well, it's just like what Cedric the Entertainer, you know, he was like, you know, I ain't calling no man
No,
delicious.
man, delicious.
Delicious. You know,
They
No,
call me
no, who?
it don't make no sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Cedric the Entertainer.
You know, when he did that
yeah.
joke and he's talking about his friend was named Delicious and he wasn't gonna
Oh
call
yeah,
he
yeah.
wasn't gonna call no man delicious.
Hell no. Yeah, he said that on Kings of Comedy. Yeah, he sure did. Like I used to work with this dude. He said, and this is a true story. His nickname was Big Daddy. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna call you no Big Daddy. I'm gonna call you your name. Well, people call me. Okay, I don't care what other people call you. I'm not calling you that.
Yeah, I was just wondering because you know you see all these, you know, like, oh, who's that rapper? Oh, that's Baby. Oh, he's called the Baby. Oh, that's Little Baby. Have you heard? I'm like, what's up with all these 27-year-old babies? What the hell?
Oh, wait a minute. Some of
Yeah,
them babies are 50 years old now.
all 50
Oh,
years
oh.
old.
Absolutely. I think it's just utterly crazy.
If I
You
see a
know.
50-year-old nigga call himself Lil Baby, I'm gonna be like, man, if you don't sit your old ass down.
So I mean, do you think that's just Aaron? Do you think that's psychological? Is it these black men refusing to grow up? They
I
don't
think
want
it's
to.
both psychological and a refusal to grow up. He wants to be a perpetual child.
Yeah.
He wants to be called. He wants to be coddled, and he don't want to be called out on his bullshit. I don't care how many millions of dollars he's making, because since they like making it rain so much,
Shoes. Yeah,
and
I
I don't got
remember.
nothing against the dude who rapped. I don't got nothing against folks that wear. Hey, if you wear jewelry, hey, cool. Me personally, I don't like wearing jewelry. And for those who out there rapping, this is not throwing shade at rappers. We just talking about some of these dudes though that are caught in this frozen, inanimate childhood state. They're basically man children. That's what they are, who refuse to grow up.
And putting away them childish things that you just
Yeah.
time to grow up.
Yeah. Some do and some don't. Cause some of the littles, all them little such and such rappers, and yeah, they either drop the little or they're going by their real name. Lil Bow Wow. He first dropped off the little, and then he dropped off the Bow Wow. Went by his real name. I can't remember. I think it's Sean something.
Shad Moss.
Shad Moss.
Shad Moss. Oh, okay.
Shad
Shad. I
Moss.
don't know what. Hmm.
Okay, like
And then
said,
there was
Peter Pan syndrome. That's what it is, a Peter Pan syndrome. I mean, let's just look at this. Now, Michael Jackson was, until this man died, was known as a grown ass child. They talked about him having with the Netherland and the Peter Pan syndrome his whole life. This man was a grown ass child until he died at 50 something. He died at 50 something and he was still a grown child.
Yeah.
What is it? There's some psychology in that. I mean, there is something about that. There is some psychology going on with that, and we should not perpetuate that. It's time, when it's time for the man to grow up. It's time for you to grow up. You
Yeah, we
know,
already know the story about how Joe did them. Okay, I get that, but you know what? Yeah, we can't really use that as an excuse anymore. And don't get me wrong, I love Michael Jackson to this very day.
oh, I do
But yeah,
too. But still,
but I do understand what you mean, though.
he was a grown ass child until he died at 50 something.
Right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is sad too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he wanted the childhood that he felt was taken away because he was a he was a famous musician. Mm. But I think some of it could be that they're afraid to change their brand because they've been known by this name for so long. They don't they don't think that they could still be under another name or drop it. That's why it's the younger ones that out of all of the littles and the babies and the names that sound like terms of endearment. It was the younger ones that dropped off the little and went with their original name.
But do you
But the
remember, like, okay, coming up, I know, you guys had cousins and brothers and uncles that, were named after, their father or named after, whoever. So if you had two of them, there was like, okay, a big, Ronnie or a little Ronnie. But
Mhm,
after little Ronnie got a certain age, he didn't want to be called Lil Ronnie no more. You weren't gonna keep calling him Lil Ronnie or Lil
mhm.
Percy or Lil Johnny. You wasn't gonna keep calling him that. After he got a certain age, he didn't want to be called that no more.
Right, right.
You know,
Hmm.
like I have juniors in my family, and they don't want to be called that. You know,
Mhm.
my son is a junior, and he got a certain age. He people will come at him and be like, "Oh, Lil," and he don't want to be called that little no more.
Mm-mm.
You drop that little and you just call me by my name. But it seemed with these, gentlemen, they want to hold on to that baby complex, whatever that little and baby or that small boy complex, they want to hold on to it. And it's just, there's a problem at some point
Yeah,
when you don't want to grow up.
yeah, they want to be coddled.
You know,
Mhm, mhm.
Now, it's nothing wrong with getting out. It's nothing wrong with being a collector of things. I get that. Some people collect old toys and stuff like that. That's different. It's nothing wrong being a collector or connoisseur. But yeah, I get what you mean about growing up. I mean, mentally speaking, it's time to grow up.
right? Right again.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's nothing even
So
wrong with it's nothing wrong even being nostalgic. We all get nostalgic about things. Like one of the best decades I can think of will probably be the '80s. That was a very interesting decade to me. I
yeah.
think that was the decade that I really became of age. I mean, I'm a '70s baby, but I'm an '80s child, and I can remember some moments in the '80s.
Neek said they want to avoid adult responsibilities.
Yep, that about nails
Well,
it.
but they want to make millions of dollars. You can't avoid adult responsibility with millions of dollars. Shooks,
Yeah,
the main responsibility is paying taxes on them $1 million.
And
yeah.
that's not a child responsibility.
Hmm.
I mean, it's nothing wrong making it, but yeah, you still got to pay on it. Exactly. Okay, it's
And,
like, look, make your money, but still pay your taxes. I mean, we can
but
say don't make
if
it.
But if you notice, you don't hardly see Baby out and about. He's usually he's not rapping or anything. If he is doing
Right.
anything, it's producing. So that means he is avoiding. In some ways, he's avoiding the Baby. He's he's not ready to let it go because that's what he's known as. You know,
Right.
but he ain't out in public about it. Is out in public as much anymore. You know,
I think the last
as
time
far
I
as I,
heard, I think he went bankrupt or something. Isn't that true?
mm, it's a possibility the way they were throwing money around.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they said that when Cash Money was in its is at the top of its fame, that every artist they used to buy a brand new car and then put rims on it and everything. I mean, they say
Hmm.
that baby got about, I forget how many cars he had, but it's like every year will buy a brand new car. I'm not saying, hey, look, you can do what you want to do with your money. I'm not saying that, but I'm like, me, I couldn't do that. And me myself, this is just how I think. I don't really need a brand new spanking car off the showroom floor. I like to have a car that's got some mileage on it, something that's preferably used. You can get current cars that are used too. I would get something like that.
Yeah, and then they will walk around with cash money.
Hmm.
Oh, let me see, because there was some show I think was with Monique. Some I think she had a talk show for a brief while. I don't remember, but
Yeah, she has
they
so
had
yeah,
they were showing off their cash. And it was like big huge block of cash. What they call it? Uh, what's
money
that
phone.
clear? I'm trying to think of that clear plastic they use for cooking food. Anyway, full of money, and and they say, y'all walking around with this amount of money. What if somebody come on take it? What if I, come in and take some and she's stuffing some of the money in brought? And it's like, no problem. We got more of that. Oh, y'all playing like that? She said, well, okay. I don't know how serious she was. If she was just, it was just part of the joke and she was going to hand it back to him. But he was nonchalant, like, ain't nothing. And I wondered how much cash kind of disappeared because they were flaunting it and somebody walked off with it. And they were being careless. Oh, we could just make that like that.
True.
Yeah, that's the same thing Floyd Mayweather does today.
Yeah, and that's another fantasy of the player view. A lot of cash, a lot of women.
Yeah, remember that old song by Wu Tang? Cash rules everything around me. Cream.
Okay. Ooh.
Sound like y'all tapping out right there, Dame.
Well, yeah, but yeah, but I'm trying to. I would like to figure out how we get this from. Sometimes I don't see it. It's like some areas I don't see the play. It's usually generations back or my generation stuff like that. I still see moments where they still in player mode and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, okay, this generation I see is not going to have it, and then I'll see it, and I'm like, okay, it's still there. You know, it may have skipped a few, but there's still enough of them there that it's still there. Hmm. And that pimp mentality. Mm,
Right?
maybe all them black exploitation movies, that did all these Mac and pimps where they were uh, that they were all this and that.
Well, damn, a lot of these rappers though, they weren't even born when the black exploitation films came out. They weren't even a thought.
Mm, well, yeah, those 30 up, but they didn't. Those movies didn't go away. They were there. In fact, sometimes they were passed down. You know, the fathers are seeing them, so the kids are seeing them once they reach a certain age. You know, cause think about the movie Kid and Play. What's that movie with Rudy Ray Moore that his
Dolomite.
father was always
Dolomite.
on Kids and Play? On Kid and Play, his father's
That's
always
oh,
making
that's
him
House
watch.
Party.
Oh, you're talking about House
Yeah,
Party.
yeah, I'm talking about House Party. Yeah, what isn't that movie supposedly that movie with Rudy Ray Moore is supposed to be a movie or a Mac movie or something like that? So if his father had him watching this movie from the time he was the kid, how many other fathers are doing that because okay, it's their favorite movies, you know, and they're accidentally or unknowingly indoctrinating their sons into this mentality.
Okay, so okay, there was black exploitation movies. Okay, are we the only ones who don't realize that it's just a movie? I mean, do we? I mean, is that real life? Do we are we not the only ones that don't realize that that's it's just a movie and that that's not the makings of your life? That should not be your life. You know, I you see movies like The Getaway. You have white people running out robbing banks, because they saw the movie The Getaway. I mean, these are black exploitation movies. It's a movie. It shouldn't be our life. It's entertainment. And I think that's what a lot of it does. A lot of it, people think, okay, yeah, that's going to be my life. My life is going to be the Mac. That's a movie. That
Yeah,
that
fantasy.
shouldn't be what you should aspire to be.
Yeah, fantasy. Exactly.
Hmm. Well, yeah, it's simple to say that it's just a movie, but unfortunately, some parts of it can adhere to your mind, and you thinking, um, I might want to do that, I might want to try that, or some aspect of it, or it's in the head, or what, or is it something natural? Do boys think of having a whole bunch of women, uh, and that he's gonna pimp them out to make some money, or is their fantasy just to have a whole bunch of women?
Mm, good question.
Yeah. Okay. So I hate to go back around to this. Okay. Okay. Not everybody watch Debbie Does Dallas or prostitution movies, and nobody wants to be a prostitute. But in times of desperation, and there's no other chairs and the back is to the wall, some women are inclined to go into a form, either full out prostitution or a form of it.
But they would
You
do
know.
that not even having watched the movie. If they're pushed with their back is against the wall and they have to make some money, however they see fit, I
Hmm.
they're not going to be like, oh, okay, I need to figure out how can I make some. Oh, you know what? I just saw a movie called Pretty Woman. Let me go out and be a prostitute, because that's going to be the way to go. I mean, I don't think the movie is going to be the turning point, or the movie shouldn't be the turning point. If that's a decision you made just to go out and do it, because for whatever economic reasons, lack of
Hmm.
resources, and that's what you're going to do. But what I'm saying is that, why do we glorify that and why don't we get that's just a movie? And, granted, that is indicative of some people's lives.
Mhm.
But just because it's a movie, it's a popular movie, doesn't mean, okay, that's the way to go. Because usually in the movie, when you see these movies, the black exploitation movies, they don't turn out very well. It
Mhm.
doesn't end well for the characters.
Mhm.
They have a run of good luck, and the run of good luck is, oh, it's at some point in time they made a whole bunch of money. And then in
Mhm.
the next scene, they lost everything.
Mhm.
A lot of it is a cautionary tale. Like, for instance, Boys in the Hood, Menace to
Mhm.
Society, great movies, you know,
Mhm.
and I know every ounce of those types of lives. I'm from
New Jack City
California,
was too.
and I know all about that. But
It,
it it didn't end well. It did not
don't
end
forget,
well for those
don't
dudes.
forget New Jack City, Rhonda. It was a
Yeah, New
cautionary
Jack
tale
City.
too.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like, okay, very entertaining. At some point in time, they made a lot of money. But if you look at the whole scope of it, it didn't end well. So what makes, someone think they're gonna be different? Is that when they tell themselves, oh, it's just a movie. They didn't make it, but I'll make it. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, people just need to separate, reality from the entertainment, and use entertainment for what it's for, and that's for entertainment, not for real life. All
Exactly.
money is not good money. All money is not good money.
Exactly. You
Mm.
can't tell. You can't tell them nothing though.
But yet w- there are some that they ignore the negative aspect. They just concentrate on that. We got people selling drugs. Um, they some of them are doing it for economic reasons. Some of it is doing because it's a quick way to make a lot of money. And they will totally ignore the cautionary tale part of the story and just concentrate on the making money, selling drugs, how easy it is, how quick you just need this amount. It take a little bit of money, get this little drugs, cut it up, break it up, and make goof gob some money. And you just do it again. Ignore the fact that you could get killed, get caught by the police, go to prison.
Yep. But they don't take that in consideration though.
Hmm.
Well, it's the materialistic culture that we live in, because everything is always about the bag. Doesn't matter how you get the bag, what you have to do to make that bag. It's all about getting the bag.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
think that's part of it, you know. Like, all problems are solved if you have money. Doesn't matter how morally corrupt you are. If you have money, then you are set. And I think that's where the the disparity is, the division.
Well, the Bible does say that money answers all things, but I get what you're saying also too, Rhonda. I
Okay.
mean, because it's like if you don't have money, you can't do certain things. So I'm like, yeah, I would rather have money than not have it, but don't let it be the end all be all reason to live.
Hmm.
Right?
Right. Right. Well. Hmm. So okay, I think we got. I think we kind of strayed off the topic, but I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to think, how do you get the pimp culture mentality um out of young men when they're already thinking that that women are just a vagina, and that she has nothing else but that. And so they either don't respect her, or they don't see her as anything else but that.
It's, to me, it's going to have to start with, who they are right there in front of. Unfortunately for some, if they have a horrible example, that's what they're going to see. But,
Mhm.
we already know not all Black people behave that way,
Mhm.
you know? And, having discussions like this kind of brings it to light, because a lot of times we have these things that go on with us that nobody wants to talk about. And we kind of ignore it and brush it under the rug and just kind of bypass it. But actually having these types of discussions and bringing them to the forefront is what's going to put the spotlight on them, so that people realize, hey, I never thought of that. I have a nephew, I have a little cousin, I have a son, and I don't want him, thinking, that you just treat women like that. You know, there's something that you as an individual can do in your own life today. I mean, I'm not saying go out and open a school tomorrow, you know, teaching children, but if you're around a child, if you know a child, you start there. That is, at the very least, that is the most that you could do at that time. Um, do your best not to perpetuate it, you know,
Yep.
and let's have the discussion. I mean, we're having the discussion. You don't see too many discussions like this, on, you know, as the real Aaron Collins says, this Black sector of YouTube. You don't see these types of discussions, but yet you can go and just pick a channel, any channel, and you can, hear a Black woman getting cussed out and drug, for filth all over the place.
Mhm.
So and the question is, why is that okay? And why do we see so much of that? And I think it starts, number one, with the discussion. And when the discussion comes about and, all of these, different things are brought to light, then you say, well, okay, what can I do? Do you know any little boys? Do you know any small children, that you're around? Do you have a cousin, that, has a son and she is heavily participating in the whole culture, and you're like, well, hey, that's not a good way to go about it. I mean, what can you do with that situation? You know, I
Exactly.
mean, we have to start somewhere. It's not going to be solved overnight, because it didn't happen overnight. How we got here today, it didn't happen in one night. So how we're going to get to the other side and get to a better place is not going to happen in one night. So I think the main thing is to, have the discussion, you know, and try to talk about these things, you know, like, Aaron said, the ISIS papers, Neely Fuller, there are a lot of, um, there's a lot of literature out there that talks about this. And we need to do our research. We need to do our research. We need to read more. And we need to just, do some retrospect, take a look at what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're, co-signing. What do you watch on TV? What are you buying? What do you participate in?
Yep.
Mm,
you know.
mm.
And
Like Whitney Houston once said, I believe the children are the future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Show them all the potential they. I forget the lyrics, but
All
I
of
get what she was saying.
all the beauty
uh-huh.
that's inside.
Yeah,
This is that.
exactly. We have to show them the way.
Mm,
That's the problem. That too many of these parents today are letting TV and pop culture raise their children instead of themselves. They
mm-hmm.
want to have these children. Well, they want. Well, I take that back. They want to do the things necessary to have the children, but when the children come, they want to run away from their responsibility. They want to have the fun that it took to make the child, but now that the child is here, you're nowhere to be found. Ooh, I done stepped on some toes. I bet. Just move your feet out the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So with
And
that, oh, go ahead, Dame.
which makes me wonder, now that families have been quarantined with each other for a couple of months now, no school to have to go to. Some cases, so at least one or both parents, a job to go to. How are they dealing with each other? Some of the stuff I seen on YouTube, they done projects with each other. They spend time. They've been doing online schooling and stuff like that. But there's some I'm not too certain about what's going on there. You know, do they understand their child better? Are they aware of all the stuff that children are into? No.
A lot of
Woo, sorry about that, y'all.
times, no.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes it gets so distracted by making a living, providing a roof over the head, and all other stuff that you don't know your children quite as much as you think they do. At least not the day to day things that they're into. Because either they at school, you at work, and don't know what they do in between the times you're not there. You know, or you in the computer, they on their tablet or their phone and stuff like that. Everybody is into whatever individual thing they into. Yeah, and I've been guilty as that of a relative on one end of a house or the other. Nope, don't want to get up to go all the way to the back of the house to will text, hey, do you need anything? I'm finna go to the store. When I could have just walked right back there and go, hey, I'm finna go to the store. You need anything? Well, no, I'm gonna text it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean too, Dame. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love technology, but yeah, at the same time, technology has also alienated us too. And
Mhm.
like Vonda just made a good point too with this pandemic going on. It's forcing families to be exactly that again. It's forcing families to be families. See, now
Mhm.
you have no choice but to be stuck in the house with people. So you better get to know them. Now you have no reason to not get to know them.
Yeah. The
You
few
know,
So
ones I've seen.
So really, in a way, in a real strange, twisted sort of way, this pandemic has kind of been a blessing.
oh, it's had its blessings. I agree with that. It has definitely had its blessings.
Mm,
It
mhm.
opened my eyes to a lot of things that, I didn't think about before. Um, I've gotten to be a lot closer to my family in a way that we weren't before, or we had gotten far from,
Mhm.
because everybody was so wrapped up in their lives. But, now that, you have this pandemic and, you have quarantine, people have to be in each other's faces,
Yeah.
but with respects to the pimp culture and what it has done, to our youth, my thing is that it's something that has gone on. It is something that has happened, and I think we should see it for what it is, but it should not be the trademark of who we are. That's what I think. I don't think it should be our trademark. I don't think it should be, the epithet of, who we are as a people. We look at it as part of, hey, this was, part of our culture. This is, an area of, something that we went through. You got every race of people that, have, this dark side. You have the Italians with the mafia. You have, Mexican gangs, you have Korean gangs, Vietnamese gangs, you have Hell's Angels, the type of Sons of Anarchy. Everybody has the dark side, but it's not the end all, the be all, and it shouldn't be the end all, the be all for us. But I mean, yeah, it's what it is, it's part of, us, but we should not let that be the end of us. That's what I think. We shouldn't let it be the end of us.
Yep.
So, with that being said, I think we're gonna close the show out, you guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like, we should actually just take a look, at ourselves and look at individually what we can do, as individuals in our everyday life, because it seems like such a big problem, and you go, oh my gosh, it's so big, I don't know what to do. And you become so overwhelmed that you don't do anything. But like I say, we all know a child somewhere, we all know someone that, could use some talking to, maybe some intervention. It's so easy to turn, our heads and just look the other way. But like I say, it's very important to have the discussion. We can't pretend like it doesn't happen. But, we shouldn't, shun it and act like it didn't happen and be ashamed of it. It is what it is. But it shouldn't be the end of us, because there's more to us than, pimp culture and whore culture. There's more to us than that.
Exactly.
So Dame and Real Aaron Collins, I mean, if you guys have any parting words for us, go ahead and let's get that out, and we'll close the show out. And I just want to thank everybody for coming through the Ebony Star Network over here for Gangster Talk. Max was fired up, and, he had something that he wanted to say, and, he got the discussion popping. And, we had it. We had the talk.
Yep.
Lady Neek says we shouldn't let negative be the only representation of us. And I agree with that. You are so right. Is it there? Does it exist? Absolutely. It does exist, and it is there, and like I say, when it's a movie or something, let it be the entertainment that it is. But let's not walk away with it like, okay, that's what I'm about to be. I'm about to be Superfly. It's like, stop it. Stop it. You can't raise a whole generation of Superflies. It's just not, that's not going to work.
Exactly. Only in the movies. And my parting words, I just want to say thank you all for letting me come on the panel. I really miss you all, Vonda and Dame, Max.
Thank you, Aaron. It was nice having you here. I appreciate you stopping through.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad we can have these conversations. We need to have these conversations, because see, all the conversations that we have, people expect us to have these old nice little friendly conversations, and we're being friendly. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about these hard-hitting facts that's affecting our culture. I'm glad we're talking about stuff like this. I mean, what is gangster? What is this pimp culture? And where did it come from? We need to talk about that sort of thing. And let's not let it stop.
Okay, Lady Dame.
Okay. Well, I think we need to show the young men that uh pimping is not what you want to be. Um, is not going to help you accomplish what you want to accomplish. It's it's just a ugly, desperate situation that's been pumped up uh, and made into some kind of great fantasy life. You're gonna be admired by a whole bunch of women. Your fellow pimp peers berating you as number one and stuff like that. That you so charming and so good looking, so great that you persuade women to sell their bodies to make money for you. Uh, that is not what is meant to be. That's not what men are meant to be doing. That just screams of desperation and losing. That you have to make your money off the backs of women, or should I say, off of women laying on their backs. Um, and you are tearing down for a woman to do that. She's pretty much tearing herself up spiritually and emotionally, and she gotta cut herself off to ought to be able to do that over and over and over again with total strangers for money. And most of the time, women do that under desperate, very desperate situations. That's not something that they would want to do. Hmm. And you need to see the reality of what it really is to be a pimp. It's not
Hmm.
something to be looked up as, Yeah,
Nope.
okay, you saying, well, I'm not trying to be a pimp. I'm trying to be a Mac. Mac is no better.
Yep.
Sounds like a man who's is trying to seduce a woman. Well,
Hmm.
Mac and Player is about the same thing. Seduce a woman into a sexual relationship thinking that she's going to be in a more committed relationship when it's all is about you getting sexual gratification, or you and her having sexual gratification, but not
Yep.
through the truth. You're not telling the truth and say, hey, just want sex, if we're never going to have a relationship, just want to do you one time or one or two times and that's it. I don't want to know you. I don't even care if I like you. I just want to bust a nut and go.
Yeah, I didn't been around real pimps before. When I was born and raised, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and I've been around a real pimp before, the distant relative of mine, and I've actually been with him on one of his missions, so to speak.
Hmm.
So yeah, these rappers and stuff, they rap about the pimp life, but have you actually lived that life?
Hmm.
All right. Well, we are going to close out the show, and I just want to thank everyone for stopping through here at the Ebony Star Network for another installment of Gangsta Talk. And I'm going to close the show out with a little bit of music. And I just want to remind everybody tomorrow night is Ladies' Night. It's Saturday. So stop through and come and have a nice little discussion with me and the Lady Dame. We're going to be here as usual. As per our usual, we're going to be here and we're going to do our show and we're going to have a good time doing it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I want to thank Real Aaron Collins for coming through, Lady Dame. And once again, I appreciate Maximum Black, the Black Knight. He is the one who makes this possible for us to be here and have these pretty sane discussions. They can be heated sometimes, but you know what? We really know how to, have a good discussion and actually, put some things out there. So peace, power, and unity And I want to thank everybody for coming through.
Get fall in the nighttime, gotta get mine. Ain't taking no shots on the lounge, ain't top of the phone. Call up my homie, tape back home, polishing this Mac 10 chrome. Get a lick, we can hit so cold, to flip this once again in the town. To the town with a flip of bird, my wit to the curb, so I swerve and roll down. Tipping up the rest of my dudes, let's straight on the mission for calling them on now. Yo, when I hit the bar, gonna ride like every day. With 4 more thugs, I'm a bro with and strong till we end up in the grave. And lane, spinning in the driveway, we spotted the place and quickly rolled up. Gotta make that money, man. I thought of the project, fast and showed up. Fucking in the room, so drop it on down with them into the room. Them dumb, and I'm shaking the dice and hit them in naturals on the fruits. And I'm looking lovely, yeah, better than I think it's funny. I'm covering up with it in that watch, cause flesh be loving is money. I'm giving up love to the hospital, all them facts and busters, making that money stand on your feet. And you better believe, gotta have that cheese for the green leaves, never catch me sleep. Steady on the grind, get my shit down from a crime, man, I hit it to 9-9. Gotta keep that back row, making me say a boy, these nickels are dying. Let's go think of a look up that 211. Gotta keep us mind and feeling. Kicking up dust, I'm a trailing, feeling 1-7. That's how we live, that the gods could have it in the night. What? Mission to check the meal, to still be real, thugging on the clock, sleeping on the gun up. Won't slip till I'm done up. Gotta blaze the gun up, hunt up another plotting scheme. Gotta make some breakers, so nut up, what up? Gotta get that business on, even though the Buddha run the stomach, feeling nothing. But I'm just in it for the love of the month. Standing on the corner, straight slanging rocks. Oh man, here comes a crooked ass cop. So I dash, I ducks, and I hide behind a tree, making sure the popos don't see me. Now my back sack of rocks, hell yeah, I stuffed them. Police on my draws, I had to pause, and yeah, I still don't trust them. Now my game is tight, tight as hell is my game. Easy E, CPT or Eric Wright, it's all the same. Now those might trip on how I stacks my grip. I got to have it, yeah. For the love of this stupid sucker. You don't let me touch the thuggy swing. Over my grind, every time, follow me down the 9-9, and you will find all of me kind. Check out the whip, tonight, drop down, run on my pen and my hood. Red, take when I'm making me grip, put him in clip, follow me ruthless. The thug I baby, put him in mud, buck him in pumper, for the love of money. With nothing to lose, rolling with truth, rolling with thugs, it's going down. Spilling off in 3 rounds, running with him in gang. Bang, gonna make that money, man, it's still the same, still the running things well. It's follow me now, well, I take you up into the dark side of me run. See, put it up, get done to the bud, I run it up my brain. So when it's done, gang, so people thinking of me crawling up on the mission back in the days. Crazy with running with thugs, just wanted to get paid. But it's on my side, and the thugs go rich, jump up on the mission for money. You give up the cash, I drop it down fast, cause me and my partner was hungry. And if it was stolen, you might get your blood to the temple and bone, bro, dogging. Just make this lick it simple and run, turn out and send up. If I know it bang, it up on the rivers, remember me, tell you now. I'm on the yeah, so deep in the digging, you with the tricky was slipping out, get you and rip ya, so bust the down. Get it up in the skill, making the killing, get it looked in, like needed a million, making me money when it does, they chillin'. For the money, these fools, they sell it, Cleveland. But if I'm with them, getting off with the crazy skullers. And when I stick home, they don't remember I get them up for the love of mother. Stalking that fool, walking chat, stalking that fool, walking chat, stalking that fool, walking chat.